Hey everyone, what's the crack? Lawrence here with the long-awaited Simagic GT Neo. This has been staring at me from a box for the last couple of weeks. I've had some other steering wheel reviews that I've had to get out of the way. This one now gets my full focus. Very excited about this. I've got the mag link as well. Let's do this. We've got the mag link as well. For those of you who don't know, the Simagic GT Neo is a really full functional steering wheel, but it also, with the help of this, allows you to use it on any wheelbase. So I actually won't be using this on a Simagic wheelbase. I trust that it works with Simagic. I have loads of experience with Simagic steering wheels and they work flawlessly within their ecosystem. I did have some issues when I had the Asetek. I wanted to use Simagic steering wheels. They have USB ports, but they just don't work. Except for the GT4 and the GT1, they're like original two wheels. They did have a USB interface, and that could connect into the Asetek quick release. So I got to enjoy some Simagic products on different wheelbases there, but this is the one to look out for. If you want a steering wheel, a nice full function steering wheel with a lot of functionality at a great price, this seems to be it. Now, I will be the judge of that, but everybody's raving about this. I never watch any videos. I've not watched a single video on the GT Neo, but everybody's whispering in my ear. They're saying, this thing's amazing, Lawrence. You got to check it out. When is your video coming out? Well, here it is. And hopefully today is going to be the day that we find all that out. This is the piece that sits on your wheelbase. It has a little magnetic connector. Let's actually just open that up and see what it's like. Okay, so we've got a load of barcodes and stuff on the front here. That's kind of interesting. Nice packaging. Is this our warranty card? No, it's not. This is just a little super easy user manual that shows you how to connect the quick release. Goes on the far side of the mag link. Interesting. So this kind of sits in between it. So I wonder, can you still retain the functionality, the native Simagic functionality? We'll find all that out. So can you use it on both Simagic and other wheelbases, or do you need to change it in between those applications? We will figure all that out. I'll take time to study that. This is a little bit of foam in here. This is our little, it's not magnetic. Oh, this part is magnetic. This is a little USB extension cable that you can connect to your rig, which is quite handy. It's actually quite nice that they've got those little wings on there. That makes for a pretty nice. I might actually end up using that for other applications as well. So thanks for that one, Simagic. Here we've got this magnetic cable. It's a little bit like the Cube Controls Cube Connect. It's a little bit chunkier, as in it's just a little bit wider. The Cube Connect from Cube Controls is a little bit bigger, and you can see there's some pins in there, and there are those little those spring-loaded pins. So that's just basic USB functionality. Then this is this is interesting that this is exposed here. So that won't be hidden by anything. That will be exposed, and that will most likely go into the steering wheel like this. And this, I think, yeah, all this does is exposes USB functionality. This goes into the steering wheel itself. The quick release then connects onto onto this side of it, I guess. Quick release connects onto there. This goes into the steering wheel, and then it just removes that connection. This connection would otherwise be inside in the Simagic base. It just means that you can hook up this, and let's see if there's a satisfying snap to this. Not that it really matters. Can you do this upside down? Is this only one way? Yeah, it is only one way. There we go. Pretty satisfying snap, and whoa, it's actually difficult to pull off. Okay, that's kind of cool. So that holds that very, very well. So this is going to go between our steering wheel and our quick release. What else have we in here? A little Simagic branded bag with some little bits of padding, or that's not padding, sorry, they're little Velcro pieces, some little T-nuts, and some bolts, most likely for just putting the quick release in place, or putting this in the quick release. Let's put these pieces back in here, and let's put this out of the way. Now, let's get to the bit that you guys are here to see. The Simagic GT Neo. It's funny, with so many steering wheels, you think, now, okay, I love steering wheels, so maybe it's just me, but I always get excited about a steering wheel. Even if it's not, the most special steering wheel, this one seems to be pretty special. I'm already a huge fan of the Simagic GT4. This may replace it in my in my rank of which is the best Simagic steering wheel. Nice presentation here. I like that the box has the design on it. It just gives that extra little bit of experience to it. This is just a piece of cardboard that we can discard. We see the wheel here. Let's take it out. I'm imagining there's not a lot in this box. A nice little branded Simagic box, bag, sorry. And then here is the main event. Here we go. The Simagic GT Neo is in the house. That is beautiful. I saw this at the Sim Formula Expo earlier in the year. Obviously, I didn't spend any time with it there. I like my first impressions to be genuine first impressions. Can't click down on the rotaries. We'll get to that in a while. These 7-way hats are nice. The buttons are, you know, quite clicky. We see some LEDs in here as well. Loving the, I mean, this is only plastic, right? But it looks like crushed carbon fiber. So that is nice, or carbon weave, whatever you call it. Got thumb rotaries in a very nice position there. And the grips are a nice size. We'll look at all that in more detail in just a moment. For now, I'm just trying to soak it in. Soak in what it's all like. Clutch paddles as well on a steering wheel of this price. Just really, really nice. The shifters on the GT4 are super clicky. I noticed straight away. You probably can't even hear that. They're not very clicky at all. So that's cool. That's very cool. So just for a little bit of perspective, I have the GT4 here. And if we listen to the shifter on here, let's just put them side by side. I'll go for the GT4 and then the Neo. Way more dampened. A lot of people asked for that. Some people love the sound of this shift. It's very loud, very annoying for someone in the house. If I'm driving and my wife hears this from the other room, she gets very annoyed. You're probably already getting annoyed even just watching this video when you're hearing this all the time. So I think that in general, unless you're in an isolated environment where you want loads of noise, something like this is really nice. That shift still feels quite good. So it's maybe not as clinical as that one. So this really lets you know what's happening. This one, I can't see it causing an issue, to be honest. Let's quickly have a look in the box here and see what else is here. I'm assuming, oh, here we go. There we go. We've got another little box in here that has their official FIA, partner of iRacing and Formula Drift. I mean, Simagic is really, I never would have expected when, 4 years ago I did my first Simagic video, got my first Simagic M10 wheelbase. I never would have expected that they would, embrace sim racing to the point where they're associated with all these brands that we already kind of know and love. So that's a real power play from them, and something the opponents are kind of struggling to do, I guess. Let me get all of this out before we look at it. Interesting. This is the first time that we've seen Simagic put all their stuff in a little box like that. Usually it's kind of relatively loose inside the box. But we've got a lot of stuff here. So we've got the GT Neo wheel quick guide. Another lovely little, and we saw this with a previous product as well, where they've really simplified their guides, made them nice and easy to digest. Let's put that off to the side. We've got a sticker sheet here. We've got another sticker here. I'm not sure if they just loaded this up with extra stickers for me, or if everybody gets these stickers. If any of you have your GT Neos, please let me know in the comments if you got this many stickers as well, because this is pretty amazing. Now, these are the stickers that I would expect to get with it. So we've got some stickers with ABS, traction control, diff, so that we can put those next to the rotary encoders. And then we've got these Simagic stickers. They're kind of a hard sticker that you can put on the buttons, because if you look at the buttons don't have any stickers on them, so that's fully customizable. And I do like it when it's customizable, even though the wow factor of getting a steering wheel with the buttons, the stickers already on there is nice. It's most likely not going to be the exact configuration that you want. And if there's one thing I hate doing, it's when you get beautifully applied stickers on a steering wheel and you need to pull them off to put your own on. I just find that I can't do it as well as the companies themselves do it. So I'd rather just have a blank canvas and make a best guess at it, because then it'll be the best it ever has been, as opposed to trying to compete with how well the companies do it. So let's put all these back in the box. There's a USB cable here. That USB cable, I'm assuming you only need for things like firmware updates and that. It's just a standard USB-C cable. Let's put that off to the side. So one thing so many people have been asking me about is, how does it compare to the Moza KS? Now, this is not a comparison video. If you guys want in the chat, by all means, I will give you, ask me, I will do a comparison video on these, but these are big competitors for one another. We can see the Simagic is slightly smaller. You can see that you've got the crushed carbon effect on the GT Neo. The Moza KS has the standard carbon fiber effect. Neither of these are carbon fiber. There are costs saved there. The rotaries on both, you get 3 on this, you get 4 on the GT Neo. They're quite similar. I would have to spend more time with them. If I really had to pick which one has better rotaries just at a glance here, I would probably go... it's too tight to call. Yeah, they're very similar. I wouldn't even be surprised if the underlying bits are the same, because they feel very, very similar there. The 7-way hats on the KS, they go all the way around like this. I don't really like that. The Simagic has a far more defined click. And you can kind of find that north, south, east, west a lot easier than with the Moza. It's kind of, it feels like an analog stick, and it's just not as nice. The buttons then, very, very similar. The Simagic has a kind of a concave for the stickers to sit into. The Moza doesn't. So the Moza, the stickers are just on the outside, on the curve. There's nowhere for those stickers to sit into. In here, it should keep them in place nicely. Thumb rotaries, the Moza has them up here, so that is quite nice when you're driving. You've got them up here. They do feel relatively cheap. On the Simagic, they're aluminium. They definitely feel a little bit more premium than on the KS, and they feel very nice to use. Then the shifters, we already looked at the GT Neo shifters, the way that shifts. Nice dampened shift. On the KS, a little bit more noise. I would have to say the GT Neo feels just a little bit more premium. But these are quite similar steering wheels from a spec and price point of view. These steering wheels are super important. Why I want to highlight the two of these are excellent ambassadors for mid-range steering wheels. Yes, they still cost 400 or 500 euro. They're not cheap steering wheels, but they have broken barriers that, 5 years ago, these would have been 1,000 euro steering wheels. These are also compatible with all wheelbases, both of these. So you can get a universal adapter for this, you can get an adapter for this. The mag link you can get for this, and you've got the universal hub for the Moza. So you can use them with all wheelbases. Two very, very significant wheels, and one of the things that I want to establish over the next couple of weeks, I already have a very high opinion of this. This looks on paper like it's even better. There's not going to be a lot in it, I think, but just be aware. If there are specific things that you guys want to know, please do let me know. Clutch paddles, lastly, the clutch paddles on the Simagic are a lot more premium feeling, and they seem to have just a bit more travel as well, which is quite nice. I like just that extra little bit of travel. It gives an extra little sense of control. These are, even though they're quite useful, they're not quite as good feeling right now as the Simagic. When I was installing these stickers, you'll see here in the image in front of you, the ABS sticker in particular is way off center, and then you kind of realize that all of them are off center. So the top half of this sheet was completely unusable. I ended up using the numbers and letters instead. That's the only reason. Normally I like those little symbols, they'll light up quite nicely, but these stickers were effectively useless for me. So that is a quality control issue that we need to be aware of.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything.
So we've got USB settings, sync channel with wheelbase, calibrate, button mode. We've got clutches here. Okay, so you can change the. So that's quite easy to change that. I wonder how easy that is to do on the fly, but that's actually a nice way to adjust clutch paddles. So that's nice. Clutch paddles, of course, are so that you can find that ideal clutch bite point for your wheel. What else? Presets here. Game filters. I mean, let's go for AC and see what happens. GT Neo default. Cloud synced preset. No user presets. We're not going to do much with that right now. Button settings. Wait for select. Not sure what that does. Light settings. Okay, this is the RPM indicator thing. I wasn't a huge fan of this for previous Simagic wheels. I'm not sure if it's much different now. But I found that when it wasn't in sync, I had to edit each one of these manually. And it wasn't an amazing experience. But we'll see. We'll see what it's like in game. Oh, here we can change the colors in here. Okay, so limited preset of colors. It's something that at this price level, you definitely wouldn't expect too much customization. So it's not too bad. I'm gonna start customizing this, and I love a nice kind of blue and pink or purple and blue color combination. So I like that color purple, and then more purple to round it off. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool looking, and it was very, very easy to do. That did not take long at all. Now you can also turn these into, I can turn this one into my ABS, for example. Let's do ABS, and we'll do traction control on that one. That's usually what I do. DRS flag. Let's make this one a flag indicator and this one a flag indicator. So our bottom ones will act as flag indicators. Pit lane, I usually have like a pit speed limit, this one. So let's make that the pit. You can do a keyboard alias. That's interesting. I'll have to play around with that, but it looks like you can do like a button alias. What if I do hello for that button? And what if I go into like Notepad or something? No, that was wishful thinking. Learn more about that. That's all fine. Limited kind of functionality there. Get out of that button config. Do I need to calibrate it? Let's go through the shifters look fine, but let's go for the calibration. Please pull the 2 clutch paddles completely. Then click finish. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to let them go. That's fine. And we don't calibrate the shifters. All right, let's hop in game and let's put it through its paces. So here we are in the car. We can see straight away that our pit limiter is on. I only assigned it to this button, but it must be assigned to these other buttons as well. It's auto pit limiter in this game. So they're the only 2 LEDs that are assigned. Actually, I've assigned traction control. I've assigned the flags as well. But we're in a practice session, so we're not going to see those. But let's just trust that they work, because they generally work quite well for Simagic products. So that's all fine. One thing I want to see is if the rev gauge is in sync with the game. So let's go up here until one of them starts to flash. Alright, see, the steering wheel is flashing, and in game we're actually not. Oh, we're very close. It's okay, it's just coincidentally. So we're only slightly out, right? So it's at the red, but we really want it to be slightly more. So it's slightly out, and if we want to adjust that, I don't like the way Simagic have done this. I can't. What I would love to have here is just a simple little slider. I want the red line to be slightly less, slightly more. But they have it very specifically to 93%, 97. If it's at 95 or 96, I don't have that level of granularity, and I don't like that. And if I want to adjust one line, I have to adjust the whole lot. It's just not nice. So this is relatively useless to me. It's actually quite distracting if it's not in sync, and it's a lot of effort to get in sync. So that's something I really, really wish that Simagic would just sort out, because it's not a nice experience. I don't know if there's a nicer way to do it. The flash, you can only set it to like 93% or 97, but I would love just one simple slider that allows me to just shrink everything down like you would with a final drive on a gear ratio. Just shrink everything down slightly so that the red line, you can just, all you really want to do is control where the red line kicks in, similar to what SimHub does. Allow you to set where the red line is, and maybe even map a button to adjust that on the fly, and then everything else just stays in proportion. Whereas this, you have to manually fart about with it, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Anyway, that's my little rant about that. Simagic software still isn't where I expect it to be, even though it's gotten a hell of a lot better. Let's take this for a drive. The grips feel excellent. You probably have seen me do a couple of different styles of grip to try and, you know, get a feel for the steering wheel while I was chatting there. It really feels like yeah, like you're holding a weapon. That kind of that really nice feeling that I got with like the CSX3 and CSX2 from Cube Controls. They were the first ones that I really noticed that with. They're €1,500 steering wheels. This is €360. If you go to simware.eu, this is €360. There's a link to simware.eu in the description. That is an unbelievable price for what just seems to be an incredible steering wheel. I'm looking for flex right now. I'm trying to bend the steering wheel. There is absolutely nothing. There's no chance of me flexing that. We'll see how it holds up over time, but there's no chance of me flexing that over time. These are no chance of me flexing that right now anyway. Maybe over time there will be. These little thumb encoders, they actually remind me of something you'd find on Cube Controls. There's a lovely, when you have aluminium thumb encoders like this, there's a lovely kind of cold feeling to them with your bare hands. The rest of the wheel is all kind of room temperature. Aluminium is just that little bit cooler, and it is a little bit of a premium feeling. The 7-way hats are very dark. They're difficult to see, but they're very easy to locate. Even though you do have to reach in ever so slightly, they're still really, really good, really easy to access. I would kind of maybe like if the 7-way hat was switched to these number 1 and number 3 buttons. I kind of like if the 7-way hat was here and the button was maybe on the other side of it, but that's nitpicking. Let's take this for a drive and see. It's a lively car, so you really need to hang on to the steering wheel. I'm also putting 21 Newton meters of force. Well, actually, that's a lie. I probably have it set to about 16 Newton meters of force right now through this steering wheel to see how nicely I can keep control of this car. Oh, it's super nice. The diameter is very good. I know I'm not reviewing, you know, this is all subject to force feedback. Yeah, don't mind my cold dryer tires, terrible driving there. I'm concentrating on the steering wheel quite a lot. It's lovely, guys. Like €360. Like, this is the biggest thing that's playing in my head right now. This is €360. Even 2 years ago, this was unheard of. A steering wheel like this, €360, right? If this came to me as a Cube Controls branded product 2 years ago, this would easily be an €800 steering wheel. You get clutch paddles, 2 7-way hats, thumb encoders, loads of buttons. I mean, you get that magnetic connector as well. Like, this would easily be an €800 steering wheel. If anybody is on the fence, like this is not a long-term review. Who knows what will happen in a long-term review? I had that little bit when I was trying to install the software. Had that little bit of weirdness there, but it's I mean it's incredible. I can't believe how good it actually is. I'm trying to find flaws with it. Got these nice little spacers in between these buttons. Kind of make it very clear that you're not pressing a button. The thumb encoders feel good. What I really like, I like that the shift is dampened. So you probably can't hear that right now. I can barely hear it myself. And it still feels really good. I think that even if I was wearing gloves, concentrate on your driving, Lawrence. Even if I was wearing gloves, I would still have a very nice, clear feel. I'm trying to hold the steering wheel in different ways, and I think they've really nailed it with the shape of the grips. The material of the grips as well it's like a injected silicone type of material, but it's not spongy. There's like almost no sponge, but it's also not plasticky and hard. So that's a really good job. You don't get those little marks that you might get from injection molding on some devices. So I don't know how they've achieved that. The contouring, the level of detail, the level of effort they've gone to make everything line up absolutely perfectly and make everything feel good is amazing. I'm very, very impressed with that. So they've really knocked it out of the park. Trying to find flaws with it, trying to find things that might concern me, and I just can't. And especially at €360, this seems like a no-brainer. Really does seem like a no-brainer. I'm very impressed by it, very. So there's a reason that this steering wheel has just been coming to my attention a lot. I don't watch anybody's videos before I do one of these videos because I don't want to be influenced about what I feel about a product. It's been hard with this one not to get somebody messaging me saying, have you reviewed the GT Neo yet? And I'm saying, no, I haven't yet. And straight away they come back to me and say, oh, it's amazing. It's got this, it's got that. People are very, very hyped about this product, and I get it. I really get it. This thing is just for the price, it's phenomenal. I think if it was twice the price, I would still say this thing is pretty amazing. Like, if it was twice the price, I would say, oh, it's a shame they used plastic and they didn't use a real proper, material. But then it looks gorgeous. So if it looks really nice, and I'm not even touching that, right? So does it matter that it's not crushed carbon, that it's not real crushed carbon? I don't actually think it does matter. The quick release is, as always, just a very high quality quick release. If you already have Simagic, this will work just natively with your Simagic devices. I've got this magnetic QCon cable, which is extra. So that's extra on top of your €360. But man, it's really nice. I don't know what to say. I worry for the competition, to be honest. Like, how can they compete with this? This is better than the Moza KS. I have no problem saying it. It feels like a far more premium wheel than the KS. The KS is an incredible wheel, don't get me wrong. I really like it. But this feels like it came out of a Cube Controls factory, to be honest. Except it's got like backlit buttons and things that you don't always get on a Cube Controls wheel. It's like a high-end GT, Formula or Formula Pro style Cube Controls wheel. I'm struggling for words with it. I can't imagine that recommending this to someone right now would come back to bite me in the ass. I just think it seems like the best value steering wheel out there. That's all I can say about it. I'm going to be using it for the next couple of weeks on my rig for my my official races and stuff. Put it through its paces, and just to see if it has any, if there are any issues with it. Early signs are very, very positive, and yeah, if anybody's looking to buy it, I do recommend simware.eu, who provided me with this product. Links are in the description. Yeah, it's unreal to have this kind of hardware gracing my presence and being here. Like, I get excited about steering wheels all the time. Like, I just reviewed, a 1,700, 1,800 euro steering wheel. So to still get excited about a 360 euro steering wheel says a lot about the steering wheel. So maybe, take that note away if you're thinking about this. I can't see it being a bad purchase. I stream every Tuesday and every Thursday at 9 p.m. UK and Irish time. I will be using this live on stream. If you have any more questions, give me a shout. Hop into my Discord as well. For now, I'm Lawrence. I'll chat you later.